I was cruising around on Facebook Marketplace, I ran across this little jewel right here. I'm not sure how they actually say that name, the 1011. These things were built at the Honda plant in North Carolina from 1993 to 1999. It came in about 3 different versions. One was a hydrostatic drive, had electric start on it. One was a manual transmission that had a pull start, and one was a manual transmission that had electric start. One problem that I know that it has, and they told me about it, was that the steering is stripped out. It won't do anything. Another thing, it's got to have a battery, of course, and cleaning up. So I'm going to see what it's going to take to get this thing riding and cutting again. Okay, it's got this big old removable engine cover. This is what it looks like underneath. I think the battery's under the seat. I think it's got a catch before you can lift it up. Oh yeah. Oh, there is no battery in it for one thing, but that's okay. I know it's going to have a battery. First thing I want to do is see if I can get this thing running. Ain't got no gas in it. Ah, the filter looks pretty good. I'm sure the carburetor is gunked up. Looks like the thing is built really well. Ah, there's actually oil in it. I stole the battery out of my zero turn. And how about this? I believe it's actually just going to perfectly fit down in there. Wow. Okay, let's see if it'll kick over. Oh, maybe it's got to be the seat switch. The gear on the starter motor is stuck. I can tell it's spinning the starter. Well, the first thing I got to do is override this jewel. Just put a little tape over that so it don't be flopping around. Okay. Now then, got that. So now I got to figure out what's going on with the starter. Well, it looks like to access the starter, the best thing to do is going to be remove all this red plastic anyways, which I have to do to access whatever's going on with the steering. So that's what I'm going to do next. First thing, I got to remove these pedals. The cover won't come up with those pedals on. There's some screws in each of these slots on the front here. Well, unfortunately, I got to take the battery back out of it. Does it just twist off? Yep. Surprised it came with a key, but I'm glad it did. To remove the seat, there's a cotter pin on this side of that washer where that spring is. So I'm going to pull that cotter pin out. That shaft should slide out, then the seat will come off. There's another pin on that side over there. Not really cotter pins or snap pins. That comes out. Now there's the seat off. There's some screws down here in the footwells. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about the audio problem, but anyway, I figured out the problem with the steering, and it is that these knuckles here, right there, have a grease fitting on them, and of course they've been greased, but the grease has turned to apparently glue inside these spindles. I've taken the tie rod loose there, and I still can't move that wheel. I got this side off, but I had to use this torch here to heat the knuckle part of this thing up, and then I still had to beat it out. That's unbelievable. No wonder it wouldn't turn. With those out of the way, what I have to do now is get up underneath this thing. You got this larger partial gear here, which actually moves the wheels left and right. That interfaces with a smaller gear that's hid by this washer right here. This shaft is the steering wheel shaft. Now you can see this gear here is definitely messed up. I don't really know what all it's going to take to get into there. I think I should have probably removed the deck for this. Wow. It's gonna take something to get all this out. Long story short, I had to remove the deck and then remove a bunch of other stuff to get that gear out. And here's the gear. Here's the other gear. This small gear is not messed up at all, but the big one, maybe you can see, if it'll focus on it, how the teeth right in this area are just kind of gone. So what I've got to do is I either have to find another one of these parts, which is very doubtful. Okay, I'm ready to put this thing back on here. Inside the pan there'll be the big bushing, this washer, like that. The steering shaft goes through that, through this bushing, in another washer, into this gear, and then another washer. I don't know how they did this from the factory, but I'm getting it. Boy, that's hard to do. I think I just got it. I have all the black framework bolted in place, good and tight. I've got all the linkages hooked up. So the next thing I'm ready to do is put these wheels back on. I took some sandpaper and cleaned these shafts up really good, put a little bit of oil on them, like that. And then we have a washer that goes on top. There's that one. Next, we got to put these tie rods on. Okay, that's got all the steering stuff working. What I'm going to do next is oil and lubricate everything underneath this thing that I can see. I'm not too sure of the condition of the drive belt. We'll see if it's going to work before I go buy one. Eureka. Bad as it looks, it's not that bad. I mean, all the pulleys are good, free. There's no way to grease them. They're sealed bearings. There is a crack in the belt. We'll have it back together again with the deck on it. I'm going to see if the blade will engage. The grass is wet, it's sprinkling a little bit right now. I think this thing's got a mulching thing on it. They got the output stopped up on the deck. I'm gonna probably just take that off. If you found this video entertaining to you in any way, or it was just a way to pass some time, I would really appreciate it if you consider subscribing, hit that like button, and tap that bell icon so you can be made aware of my future videos. Thanks for watching.